An EF3 tornado with winds up to 165 miles per hour whipped through central Virginia, leaving destruction and devastation in its path.
The skies were wild, you know, black, got real black all of a sudden, and winds picked up, and then, you know, along come the heavy rains.
I was so scared. As soon as everything stopped, I just looked out the door and I saw that the house was gone.
Across Virginia, several deaths, dozens hurt, and hundreds of buildings damaged, leaving parts of the Commonwealth in a state of emergency.
It's about 12 to 15 miles long, this tornado.
Efforts from state leaders as well as local rescue groups to return peace and power to the area.
WSLS 10 is bringing you team coverage on all the angles of the storm as the recovery process begins. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for WSLS 10 at 5. I'm John Carlin.
And I'm Lindsay Ward.
The National Weather Service confirms now an EF3 tornado touched down in Appomattox County.
Now that makes yesterday's tornado the strongest to ever hit the county.
And Governor Terry McAuliffe got a first-hand look at the damage today. His first stop was in Evergreen, where 100 homes are estimated to be damaged or destroyed. And we walked along with him as he assessed the damage, met with the National Weather Service and local people whose homes were damaged. He also toured the damage by helicopter for an aerial view.
All of a sudden, you begin to see entire area trees, just literally gigantic trees, just snapped in half. And it goes for 12 to 15 miles, which I was just amazed at the length and the width of this tornado that struck here.
The governor actually handed his personal number to victims in case they need assistance, and he says he is asking the federal government for money to help with cleanup costs.
WSLS 10's Rachel Lucas was there during his walking tour and spoke with several families who were left with nothing. She joins us now live from Evergreen. Rachel?
Well, it wasn't until this morning that Governor McAuliffe got a first-hand look at the magnitude of these tornadoes. He said during his aerial tour today, he spotted a 12 to 15-mile path of destruction left behind the tornadoes. Now, I was here today as he walked across these fields assessing the damage. He spoke to several homeowners whose homes were leveled. That includes Tracy Morgan. Now, her mother's house stood here behind us, and she has an incredible story. The day after, families here in Evergreen searched through the rubble of their homes, looking to salvage anything they can. Many houses were leveled. It's now hard to imagine that anyone used to live here, but up close, you'll see small treasures of what these families used to call home.
Right there where you see all the cinder blocks, that was her foundation.
Joshua Burkett and Tracy Morgan's mother's home is completely gone. Joshua was away at work when the storm hit. Tracy was next door in her home that was also damaged, but that was the least of her worries. They knew their brother was asleep at their mother's home.
As soon as everything stopped, I just looked out the door and I saw that the house was gone, and that's went into panic mode trying to find my brother.
For an hour and a half, they couldn't find him.
We kept looking, and he got pulled out of the living room and got thrown against the brick house that's right there, and then wound up in a neighbor's house, but he's in the hospital.
His dog woke him up, and I guess the walls started to come down, and then he got just torn out of the house.
Despite his injuries, their brother was saved, but the family member who saved him didn't make it.
And the sad thing is, the little dog that saved his life, we found her dead just a little bit ago. So we've wrapped her up and we're gonna bury her in a little bit.
While their family has lost everything, they say they still have a lot to be thankful for.
Well, that some people have nothing, and then I just thank God for what I do have. And it's his birthday, so this is his birthday present, cleaning up this mess.
Today's my birthday.
Although their possessions may be gone, their brother will make a recovery. And now that the storm has passed, they still have each other.
I'm glad my family's whole, so that's all I could ask for. So many things taken for granted. This really makes you look around and know what you have, and it means the world.
The community has really come together. We've seen churches, different organizations, volunteer fire departments helping these families pick up the pieces of what's left. They say despite all the damage here, they have a lot to be thankful for. In Evergreen, I'm Rachel Lucas, WSLS 10.
That's an incredible story. Unfortunately, we do now know the name of the man who was killed during the tornado in Appomattox County. He was 78-year-old Edward Keith Harris, and he was found near his home on Twin Tunnel Lane about 10 o'clock last night. Harris's family, along with first responders, searched for his body after the storm hit.
My husband was extremely distraught. They searched and searched and searched for hours and hours, and he came home and had to rest, and we got word that they found him. His mobile home was destroyed.
Now, to prevent further injury, Appomattox County officials are asking people to avoid areas impacted by the storm. They're also reminding you to be aware of loose limbs, down power lines, and debris as powerful winds continue to move through our area today. And uprooted families weren't the only ones searching through the debris today. The National Weather Service was out in Appomattox County surveying the damage.
They were carefully looking at the damage to determine the strength of the storm. For more on what the National Weather Service found, we turn now to Storm Team 10 meteorologist Jonathan Keggis, who continues our live team coverage in Evergreen. Jonathan?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, the National Weather Service, as you mentioned, was out here in full force, but you don't need me or the Weather Service to tell you how destructive these tornadoes were, at least this one here at Evergreen. As you can see, the damage we've been showing you since last night. They do have a very, very important job, though, and that's how we now know how strong this tornado was. And again, behind me, you can see the destruction. Some of the things that they're looking for, not only the damage of itself, but how sturdy the homes are and what kind of structure it is. Say a mobile home is much more easily damaged than a sound structure, or a wood house versus a brick house. So that's some of the things that the National Weather Service takes into account when they try to determine just how strong that tornado is. After they go along and do the damage assessments, and then they try to find out where the tornado started by looking at radar imagery from when the storm was going on, and then just trying to find where the path started, measuring how long the track was and how wide that track was. In this case, this tornado was about 400 yards wide and about 13 miles long. You can see again the path of destruction that it carved, and again with that rating coming in at EF3 with those winds of 136 to 165 miles per hour, guys.
Jonathan, what are we seeing behind you right now? The camera's kind of tight on you, but what kind of damage are you looking at right there from where you're standing?
Yeah, if we can zoom out just to give you perspective, this house behind me here made of brick, so one of the more sturdy structures here, but you see the roof is caved in. We were talking about EF1 damage. First thing you look for is maybe shingles blown off, windows blown out. You can see this damage much more extensive than that. We're talking about 110 or so mile-per-hour winds there. That's more EF2. Back in the distance there, we can see the house. That is just completely devastated. The whole second floor blown off, collapsed coming in, and that's some of the EF3 damage that the National Weather Service found today. And again, that's those winds up to 165 miles per hour. Reporting live in Evergreen tonight, Jonathan Keggis, WSLS 10.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. And like you said, the National Weather Service has been out all day assessing that damage to determine the strength of the storm that touched down in the area.
I'll tell you what, for a complete breakdown of the very latest information, we want to go over to Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowitz. Jeff?
Yeah, guys, what we have put together is kind of a list of all the tornadoes that did fall yesterday. And I want to start off by showing you first and foremost that in addition to the Evergreen tornado, we did have a tornado confirmed near Ararat in Patrick County. That was an EF1, winds of 95 to 105 miles per hour. The path length was 1.75 miles. Of course, Jonathan just said that the Evergreen tornado was an EF3, winds of 136 to 165 miles per hour with a path length of 13 miles. In Waverly, we had an EF1 tornado, winds of 100 to 110 miles per hour. That path length was 9 miles per hour. And we also had an EF3 in Tappahannock yesterday, winds of 140 miles per hour with a path length of 28 miles. I do want to show you some video that was taken by a drone. And one of the things Jonathan was talking about was the survey team. When you see damage from a tornado, generally speaking, you see trees falling in any direction possible, north, south, east, west, okay? When you look at straight line wind damage, all the trees and damage fall into the same direction. So if you look at this video, you'll firmly notice that all the trees are falling in different directions, a telltale sign that this was indeed a tornado. That's among the things that the National Weather Service was looking at today. And those sights from Appomattox County just are incredibly hard to see. Lindsay.
Yes, Jeff, thank you. Now, the violent storms tore through Virginia. They left a path of destruction in their wake. According to the latest numbers, 4 people died as a result of the severe weather, and at least 24 were hurt severely critical. Several critical, rather. 100 buildings in Appomattox County are now damaged, including 20 homes which have been destroyed. About 40% of the county is without power right now. Virginia's National Guard has also mobilized. More than 40 soldiers are on state active duty as part of a multi-agency effort to help the areas, including Patrick County, that were hit by an EF1 tornado. Now, so far, the Guard is focusing on debris removal efforts like clearing blocked roads. An aerial team is also on standby to help with damage assessment. Now, the town of Waverly in Sussex County was another hard-hit area.
Yeah, 3 of the storm's 4 deaths all came from this small town. We want to turn now to Carrie O'Brien, who's talking to local people there about their loss.
A trail of debris and destruction, wood, insulation, metal, all scattered around the area, not too far from where 3 people were killed. Today, I spoke with the folks who found the victims.
And he was like, get in the bathtub, get in the bathtub. And me, her, and the 2 two-year-olds jumped in the bathtub, and he was throwing blankets over top of us. And by the time that happened, he was like, the sheds are gone, everything's gone. It was like less than 45 seconds.
Allison Matthews and Aubrey Sen were shocked to see the destruction around their family's home. It happened so quickly.
We never got a warning. We never got a siren. It just happened.
And then their neighbor, David Root, got word 3 people were missing.
When it was done, I came outside and there was a woman walking around here talking about a baby.
This trailer we found from a Google image lifted off its foundation with 2 men and a 2-year-old boy inside. It slammed into a church and then was carried about a quarter mile into the woods behind Allison and Aubrey's family home.
There's tons of debris from the home scattered all through the woods, up in the trees, and that's when about 6 or 7 of us started going through the woods.
I was in water waist deep in the swamp. I mean, we were 100 yards away from the baby.
The one gentleman was ahead of us, a couple steps ahead of us, and he stumbled. He shouted out he thought he found something, and sure enough, the 2 men were there.
As the cleanup continues, crews are on scene trying to restore power to the area. Carrie O'Brien, back to you.
Wow, sad story. And we will continue our coverage for you, our team coverage of the tornado recovery throughout our 90 minutes of news tonight.
You can also receive updates even when we're not on the air. You can download our Storm Team 10 news and weather apps, or you can visit us online at WSLS.com for the latest conditions.
All right, still ahead tonight on WSLS 10 at 5 o'clock. The top GOP candidates are stopping in the Roanoke Valley as part of their path to the presidency. The newest White House hopeful to announce a visit.